Your work comp doctor doesn't care about you. He only cares about getting more business from the insurance carrier. In this video, you'll learn why many injured workers believe just that, as we discuss all about authorized work comp doctors, as well as some tips when presenting to them. How's it going? Domenic Celeste, the virtual accident attorney here, and I'm back with another video. For those that don't know, I represent people injured on the job in workers' compensation and due to the fault of another in personal injury all throughout Florida. Now, as usual, before we get started, I have to show you this disclaimer, so just hold tight. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. So as the title of this video asks, can you trust your authorized work comp doctor? No. And that's the first one for one of my videos. I gave you the answer right away, but there's a reason. So before you stop watching this video, stick around to find out why you can't trust your work comp doctor, as well as to learn some tips when you see the doctor. Florida Statute 440.13 deals with medical services and supplies, penalties for violations, and limitations. This is where you'll find most of the work comp law regarding medical care. I'm not going to go over all of it in this video since it's not what this video is about. But basically, workers' compensation gets to pick and choose your doctors, but in exchange, it has to pay for the medical care recommended by those doctors who are called authorized doctors. But how is it that work comp knows who to authorize as your treating doctor? Well, work comp usually has a list of doctors that they like to use depending on the doctor's location and specialty. But why do they have this list? Firstly, work comp needs to know what doctors are willing to even take on a work comp patient, because it's different than treating a non-work comp patient in that the doctors need to understand a little about work comp law, mostly as it relates to what's called major contributing cause, or MCC, which is basically that your accident is more than 50% the cause of your injury and need for treatment. Also, work comp doctors get paid significantly less than if you use your own personal health insurance, so they must be willing to take what's called the work comp fee schedule if they're located in Florida. The biggest reason why work comp has this list is to know what doctors are more willing to side with them over you. Wait, what? Yeah, I know, right? I mean, think about it though. Work comp is a business, and businesses want to make money, not spend it. So, if work comp authorizes doctors who are more willing to see you only one time than release you, rather than see you many times and recommend expensive treatment, it's going to save a lot of money, which in turn makes them a lot of money. Now, that's not to say that every doctor that work comp chooses operates in the same way. I mean, they do have their oath to consider, right? But in my experience, there are certain doctors that you know are more insurance minded, as they are constantly authorized and always have the same opinions in favor of work comp over the injured worker. But why do these doctors do this? Why would they take the side of the work comp carrier over their patients? This is also a business for the doctors as well. While they don't get paid for expensive treatments, the number of patients that they see makes up for it. But the only way that they can keep up the volume of patients is by making sure work comp continues to authorize them, which will only happen if they continue giving work comp favorable opinions to save them money. As the saying goes, don't bite the hand that feeds you. To show you an example of just how one-sided work comp doctors can be, I had a case with a 20-year-old client. He was lifting a 700-pound plate of glass for a huge window with other coworkers when the coworker on my client's side dropped his end, causing the brunt of the weight on one side to have to be carried by just my client, which severely injured his low back. My client never had an injury, let alone one to his low back, in his short 20-year life, and this was his first job ever. Yet, the work comp doctor kicked my client to the curb, stating that his injury was degenerative and not related to our accident. In the doctor's deposition, he testified that as soon as someone is born, any injuries to the spine are all degenerative and therefore can never be related to a work accident, which significantly delayed my client getting any medical care for his low back. And you don't have to be a doctor to know just how ridiculous that doctor's opinion was here. Or how about my client who tweaked his low back 30 years ago playing ping pong but didn't get any treatment? Then, fast forward 30 years later, after lifting millions of pounds over his 20-year career with the employer, yeah, we calculated it, working in a warehouse without any treatment or complaint, his back goes out. Can you guess what the work comp doctor attributed the low back injury to? If you guessed lifting millions of pounds, you'd be wrong. This client lost his case because of this doctor's insane opinion. But even if the doctor is on the dark side, there are things that you can do to help your case, because ultimately it's up to whether the judge believes the doctor or not. Sure, the doctor's opinion may support a temporary denial by work comp, but that denial is only set in stone if the judge says so. So let's get into some of those tips to help your case even if you have an untrustworthy authorized work comp doctor. The first tip is to always tell the truth. If you don't tell your work comp doctor something, they'll assume you've lied about everything and then release you. That's not to say they won't do that anyways, especially if there's anything else that they can point their finger at, such as a prior injury or mere complaint even without treatment. And this wouldn't make you credible in front of the judge either. Another tip is to be nice. You already know the doctor isn't on your side, so don't give them a reason to make it worse. If being nice gets you the opinions needed to get treatment and lost wages, then it's worth it. Plus, it doesn't take much effort to be nice. I know it can be frustrating not having a doctor listen to or help you, but yelling or cursing at them isn't going to do anything but make it seem like you're the crazy one, and the judge won't like that either. Also, take note of some things when you see the doctor, such as how long he's with you, what exams he performs, or if he even asks you any questions. Sometimes these doctors will put in the report that they've done something or gotten information from you when that's not true at all. With that information, the doctors could be confronted by your attorney in deposition, which could diminish their credibility with the judge. Lastly, just because the doctor gives an opinion doesn't mean that it's supported by the law. There are many different ways to either discredit or even have the doctor's opinion stricken under the law, which is why it's important for you to have an attorney representing you to know just how to do that. So in summary, don't trust your work comp doctor because they're usually, but not always, chosen by the work comp carrier for one reason: to help them and not you. And when you do see your work comp doctor, remember to be truthful, nice, take notes, and hire an attorney, because even if you have a bad doctor, only what the judge thinks matters in the end. And there you have it. Now you know about authorized doctors in a workers' compensation case and why you can't trust them. If you or someone you know were injured on the job or due to the fault of another, you need to hire an attorney. Give me a call any time of the day or night. I have a 24/7, 365 receptionist. Or better yet, you can just text me, 561-935-3822. But that's it for this video. If you got value out of it or if you learned something, please hit that like and subscribe button. To learn more, watch my previous video here or watch a video that I've chosen for you here. Again, I'm Domenic Celeste, the virtual accident attorney. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.